What?
Yep.
Why? Why is there a cow here? What is that for?
That's a great question.
Great question, Clancy.
I wish I could answer it.
Yeah.
Oh, is it part of a pack, or did you specifically seek out a cow?
I sought it out,
Okay.
but it was for Beef Week.
Highly sought.
Oh, beef week.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
It
Well,
got here late, but also early.
You had to order it.
Shipping cows is very expensive.
So expensive.
Shipping cows is expensive. That's why they usually cut them up into little pieces
That's true for the store.
for shipping.
Yeah.
My parents had a horse trailer for a while, and that thing was hard to maneuver.
Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's an unwieldy meatball.
Yeah. I saw one guy get their horse trailer stuck, like they somehow got a stump in between them and the trailer because they
Impressive.
like coming around like a roundabout that had a stump in the middle of it, and they cut it too sharp. It was dumb. They're idiots. Anyway, let's talk canon, shall we? Because that's what we're talking. We're talking canon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Uh,
You called in the team.
Basically,
Yeah.
what I have realized is that in the past 90 days or so, the canon of the board castle has gotten a little too complex, and there's probably some things in there that we probably don't need. So we're going
Okay.
to clean house. We're going to take care of some business. And there's a good chance that a lot of the things I'll be like, you know what, I do want to keep that, and nothing will change.
I was wondering what you thought the likelihood of that was.
I mean, the thing is,
Yeah?
part
What
of
is it?
what I like. The thing
The thing?
is, I like when things are bad and don't make sense, and you kind of have to watch all of it in order to get it. And will that mean that I'll ever have any sort of real following? Yeah, no. The thing is, in all likelihood, I will die in obscurity and never be truly understood. But
But when the stakes are that low.
I guess I'm fine with that. I guess I've decided I'm fine with that because I'm not making any adjustments, really.
Well, that's been a great show. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Okay, so
I just realized you're wearing a Reba shirt.
oh yeah, this was given to me by Riley McCarthy, good friend of the show.
Yeah.
Riley McCarthy. I
Riley
think
McCarthy.
he's been on it all of one time,
Yes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
but he is a very good friend of the show. He's a behind the scenes producer type. He just likes to pull the strings.
Ooh,
Let's see.
strings.
So the very first entry I have here is established on what is it, June?
Oh, wow. You have
July.
the dates?
No, July 25th, 2022.
Oh,
And this was
okay.
when I started the doc.
Yeah.
Was in
Oh,
July.
okay.
Because there are a lot of things that were established before that
Yeah.
I don't even know. Well, I guess we should maybe start with things that happened before July of this year.
Oh, sure.
Let's talk about Gooby Gary.
Yeah, let's talk about Gooby Gary and what his deal is.
What's that guy's deal?
I think actually maybe this is maybe not necessarily we don't take anything out, but maybe this is just like a good primer for like,
Yeah. Yeah.
if you want to figure out what the fuck is going on with BCTV, you could watch this. And it explains sort of the basics.
Yep.
So you hired Gooby Gary for an
Gooby
assassination?
Gary, about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago, I think, around this time last year, I hired Gooby Gary to bring Jamie Carbone from the past because I made an error on a show poster. And so I needed the Jamie Carbone from when that was a real date that I wrote on the poster.
I forgot that was the origin.
That was what happened. So Jamie Carbone was from the year, I believe, 2012.
I think so. Maybe 2016.
Maybe 2016. It's a little bit fuzzy, but the point is, I hired a creature from outside of space and time to pierce the dimensional veil and rip from their home Jamie Carbone from several years ago. And then I believe, as the story goes, a tale as old as time, I neglected to pay Gooby Gary for its services.
Yes.
I'm going to say, its services. And in January of this year, Gooby Gary came to collect and kill Jamie Carbone.
Yes.
At which point it was established that Ben Harkins was a necromancer, and that's sort of and I think at a certain point it was established with no payoff in any way that when Gooby Gary pierced the dimensional veil to kidnap Jamie, it did create a rift which caused a dimensional war.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
There was a Operation Paperclip 2.0.
Yeah.
With interdimensional scientists.
Yeah.
Something.
You're right. That was established with no payoff.
So I guess maybe here's a first question: do we want to care about that at all?
Oh, about the dimensional war?
Yeah. Do you think the dimensional war needs to show up ever again?
I feel like it's one of those things that just kind of pops in. Like, you don't mean for it to happen, but it just kind of runs its way through, rips its way through.
I do feel like that was the first time that it was kind of established that I am a little bit of maybe a supervillain who has no care for the dealings of...
Yeah.
You did
don't
try
care
to
about the fallout.
You did try to start a religion.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that happened, and
that was where Gooby came from.
Even within, I don't know if that's even within the realm of the board castle. At this point,
fair.
I feel like Nightmare Gods and Extremely Painful both take place outside of the canon.
Yeah, it's like the what if.
Yeah, exactly.
Verse. Like, what if Clancy tried to start a religion? It would be something like this.
And it wouldn't work at all, and we would stop actually trying to do the religion within like the third or fourth episode, and basically just
yeah, it's Board Castle Legends.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, that's a good point. Yeah. Okay, so Nightmare God stuff is Legends.
It has been told.
I mean, Extremely Painful for You was just a movie review show, and that's basically, I think I did learn something important from that I did not enact into my actual thoughts until much later, which is doing a movie review show is a mistake. And because I like watching movies, and it's not fun when I have to do it.
Yeah. I understand that one.
Yeah.
I made a brief attempt to do a foray back into that with the Oscars show.
Oh yeah.
And it took 2 episodes to be like, shit, that's right. This sucks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Having to watch things. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a fun, good time.
No, not always. But I think that makes sense. Establishing that as outside of the canon makes sense.
Cool. Good.
Especially because you could have the Clancys from there do crossovers with you.
Now that's
your Clancy.
So potentially that means there is, or not potentially, for sure that means there is a Clancy out there who still is watching The Dark Knight Rises every single week.
Yeah.
There's one out there who made The Dark Knight Rises.
That's true. Well, and
there's one where they do it every week.
There's one where
They
they're
make a brand new Dark Knight.
there's one where they're
Rises.
currently living in a cave underground to better understand the cops in The Dark Knight Rises.
Ooh, that's actually really interesting. I like the idea that there is a me out there who took Extremely Painful for You so far that they decided to live every event in that film. So the pit, mostly, the plane crash, no survivors.
Except you.
Well, I mean, I would escape like Bane did.
Oh, true.
Because that's
The first
obviously
line.
my...
You're Bane.
Talks.
Because
so
I
you
think
get
the
off
only
plane.
thing that is maybe true in every universe of me is that I am a little bit of kind of the bad guy for sure. Like, I'm not gonna fully admit it canonically, but outside right now, I can say for sure I'm kind of the bad guy all the time. So I think that
Are you the Clancy who wanted to eat the cookie?
that is another good question. I think that is another. That's another one.
I think that makes sense.
There's 4 canonical universes that are at play in the. Well, I guess now here's my question: Radio Free Multiverse. Where's that exist?
Outside of time and space.
Outside of time and space. So it's in this same space that we're in.
Yeah. Radio Free Multiverse can cross universes.
Sure.
It's outside.
Easily if it wants. Yeah.
It's
of time and space.
Yeah.
Cool. So they're also sort of Watchers type.
Yeah, except they always intervene every single week by blowing up the planet.
Yeah,
I think
that's the promise.
I think that in a way, their prime directive is you must intervene.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You must destroy.
You must intervene. You must make things worse.
That does
They're
make
more
me
like
imagine an episode where the laser breaks and they're just like, what? No! Oh no, what do we do?
Ooh, yeah, that would be good conflict.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going backwards and forwards in time, trying to start wars. None of it's working. There's all these peace cults.
I'm gonna spin that world so fast that all the people fly off.
I think that it would be pretty sick if you went to Mechanic Earth and then they fixed it for you and you blew them up at the end. That would be fun.
That would be really funny.
And look, I just want to. Maybe I should say this. What we're doing right now is potential spoiler alert for everything.
Oh sure.
This is my question, and sort of the core question of canon, is it not? For what purpose is this canon?
I think it's sort of like a show Bible sort of thing. So when I'm making sort of like improvised decisions in the moment on the various shows, I don't contradict myself too much. Although that is also part of the world.
Because that's part of why Radio Free Multiverse is outside of time and space, is so we can contradict ourselves all we want.
Sure.
The question is, do you want to make things easier or harder for yourself?
Right.
It sounds like.
Yes.
And from what you're saying, it sounds like you want it to be easier, but the solution that you're coming up with is a lot harder. So I see how you're the villain.
Yes.
In most of these stories.
The thing is, I like the idea of things being easier, but I also hate myself.
Okay. Let's build this canon.
I think that's kind of the core personality trait that I have.
Born to suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's get to what I have written on here. Established, July 25th. Clancy is insanely rich after murdering the Patreon guys with the big sword, and that has
the big sword
more convoluted. The way that I got very rich has become more convoluted over time.
True.
Was it not Enduro Flame of the West? Is that not Enduro Flame of the West?
I don't know what that means.
The reforged sword?
So, Anduril
it's the big
is a
sword
sword
with the
from Lord of the
trademark
Rings.
symbol.
I gotta see that sword, Clancy! Because in another dimension, I'm a sword guy. I need to know about this sword!
Because Emily thinks it's Anduril, Flame of the West.
It's not. It's
the
very
big
clearly
sword.
not.
No,
It
it's
is a
not.
big sword.
Oh no, it's not Enduro. It's the one from The Witcher, technically.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
So it's
okay.
the big
That was the
sword.
question. Big
Yeah,
sword.
Because we
The
have
thing about
Anduril,
it,
Flame of the
That
West.
is actually the canon name for the Witcher sword.
Oh, yeah.
So,
The big sword.
big
Geralt's
sword, yeah.
sword is the big sword.
It's. I'm sure it's something like Wolf Eater or some shit like that.
But it translates to big sword.
Dragon fucker or whatever.
The dragon schlong.
I feel like The Witcher is one of those. I feel like The Witcher is like Grand Theft Auto, but in a fantasy world.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so I get the feeling that it's just like.
how do both of you? How is this
Well,
just immediate for you?
by
I
that
thought I
I
knew
mean-
both of these things, but apparently not.
By that I mean it's a fantasy world where they're like, but also they say fucking stuff all the
Yeah.
time.
Oh,
They,
okay.
they have
okay,
sex
okay.
and they say
Yeah.
fuck and it's like gory and fucked up.
Yeah.
It's I guess I mean it
But
has
not
the
like
same
Game of
energy
Thrones.
as I think it's basically Game of Thrones, but there's more magic.
Okay. And Henry Cavill.
Sure.
Sure. Henry Cavill was a weird casting choice. Anyway,
He's weirdly handsome for Geralt. As someone who's played like an hour or two of the video game, I have that opinion.
I don't know. It feels like a weird choice to me. And
It feels
I
like they
honestly,
knew exactly who
Oh, it
they
feels like a
wanted
smart
watching.
choice,
It feels
but-
like they're like, we
Yeah.
got all these bitches who read fantasy romance novels who aren't gonna watch fucking Game of Thrones because they want this to be fun for them.
yeah,
At
but
least
also there's
that's
all this
everything I've heard from
other
every
stuff.
fan I've known. Is they're just like, yeah, it's because I want to fuck him. And I'm like, sweet.
Let's see. There's some things here that are kind of just throwaway. I'm close friends with author D'Anthony Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure entirely how that
What's
factors
the nature
into.
of this friendship? Like, how
Well-
close is this friendship? Is this like they were remembered as good friends by historians?
Yeah, we're like buds.
Yeah, your
Did
buds
you
with
send
that
each
little
other
gnome.
riddles back and
I
forth?
mean, definitely we send each other riddles, and
Okay.
Dan actually definitely jerks off to those riddles.
Yeah,
Well, and
so-
Dan has
very
sent us
into
all
codes
riddles.
and puzzles. He's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. A
Da Vinci
crit.
Code is his flirty riddle to the world.
Ooh, no, the Da Vinci. Okay, I'm establishing new canon, and
I
I'm
listened to that
I'm
at way
sorry.
too young an age. I'm just like,
I'm
oh
sorry.
no!
I'm establishing new canon. Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code as a love letter to me, and that's a fact.
Yep.
I
Okay.
like that so far.
We've
The
only
stream about
established
streamlining
new
your canon has only added new canon.
Well, you know what?
Well, actually, no. We have cut
Born
out
to
your need.
suffer.
We have cut out your need to tie anything back to Nightmare Gods and Extremely
Yeah.
Painful
Yes, exactly.
for you.
Unless there's a dimensional rift.
Sure,
We
but
streamlined it by making it harder, and that's
Yeah.
perfect.
Mm-hmm,
That is so on brand. It hurts.
Look,
That-
American
that's
dream.
true.
Okay.
Let's
These
see.
are the qualities that Ford
But
came
were
up
you
with.
wanting to simplify the
Model
Patreon
T.
thing that you got rich from killing the Patreon guys?
Well,
With the
we'll
big
get
sword?
to. We'll get
Well,
to.
also, who runs Patreon now? Is it you?
Oh, good point.
Well, I
Because you
think
can
that
still join your Patreon.
I'm like,
Who's
we have a
running
Patreon.
it?
I think that what it came to was that I realized that the Patreon guys
Mm-hmm.
had no affiliation to Patreon. They were just like guys who were threatening me.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
Okay. And now they're dead, but they did
now they're
have.
They were independently wealthy.
They were independently wealthy. Okay.
Something like that.
right.
I don't know.
Fancy stole
I-
Alcatraz. They were clearly wealthy.
I mean, but how did you steal Alcatraz with your money?
With magic.
Yeah.
Are you a sorcerer?
Did you pay to get trained in the art of sorcery? So
No,
it's
I
a
don't
little
do.
bit of
I don't
both?
do magic.
I used a crane.
Did someone
I don't do
else
magic. I'm
use
just very
magic?
strong, and I picked it up and I put it on my back like Atlas, and I walked
Oh, that's
across
right.
the United States. Sort of like a. I think
Paul
it's like
Bunyan.
a. I think that's almost like an American folklore more thing.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah.
magic involved. Just like guy who's so strong they can put the world on their back and just walk with it.
Who's your Babe the Blue Ox?
Probably Babe the Blue Ox.
I thought that like we were establishing like that this was a new American folklore tale of
Yeah.
Clancy who stole
Yeah,
Alcatraz. Okay,
Clancy-
making sure.
Yeah.
Clancy the Island Thief.
What if Clancy shrugs?
Clancy, the island thief, not to be confused with an island that thieves, like Britain.
Great point. Yeah, not like Steelo, the island.
Wait, is that a thing?
It is now.
It's in the canon.
It is.
What if Clancy shrugs?
Because I have so just bald-facedly stolen Matt Groening's tendency to just add O to the ends of verbs as character names.
Everyone in our generation is just
Yeah.
bald
Like
shamedly
Elfo.
stealing things from Matt Groening.
Yeah.
Here's the answer to what if I shrugged. I would probably accidentally drop Alcatraz on like Chicago or something. Which who would miss it?
Are you still carrying Alcatraz all
No,
the time?
I carried it
Put it
across
down.
the country,
Okay.
and I dropped it in an international waters somewhere
Did it
in
sink?
the general vicinity of off the coast of Maryland. But I
Oh.
did check, and Maryland has a it's a bay, and so there's no
What,
international
Chesapeake?
waters off the coast of Maryland.
I mean, eventually there is.
But not off the coast.
It's not off the
Depends
coast
on how
of Maryland.
far
Too
off
far
the
out to be
coast.
off the
Like-
coast.
New Jersey or something, whichever the next one up is. Delaware, something like that.
So, did you have to like blast open the bay so that
Yeah, what
it
happens to the
become
bay?
an ocean? So that
did I have to destroy Delaware? Is that what you're asking?
No, what happened to like the San Francisco Bay when you stole Alcatraz?
Oh, that
Oh,
too. That too.
Well,
I meant the
it's kind
Bay
of
of
like,
Massachusetts.
have you ever
Or Chesapeake Bay?
Chesapeake Bay.
have you ever had like a bucket that has like a big rock in it full of
Yeah.
water, and then when you take the big rock out, the bucket is only like half as full?
Oh my god, you created new San Francisco real estate.
Yeah, I did. And in a way,
That's
in
part
a
of your
way-
folklore.
In a way, I undid global warming a little bit.
There's gonna be so many bodies.
There's gonna be all sorts of plague bodies that we find when you do that.
There's so many
Yeah,
fucking bodies
hell
in that
yeah.
bay.
Oh man, they found so many. But also,
So many lift
All
scooter
those
or
scooters.
yeah, all the scooters too.
Yeah,
Let me.
we'll get all those scooters back.
Yeah, the Lime
New
gets
tech
its
boom.
scooters. They definitely still work.
Let me see. Let me look at the map really quick, so I can answer the question of what happened. Otherwise, it does look like
And do you think being more specific about this will help you improvise around it?
yes.
Born to suffer.
This does look like it is Delaware.
I am glad
And-
Jas is here so that someone can hold you to account
Yes.
if you deviate from all this
So
canon.
here is what canonically has happened in
Okay.
the Vorkastle universe. I did destroy Delaware entirely.
Okay.
Wiped
No more
Delaware off
Delaware.
the map. And it's,
Great.
I mean, it's the little estate anyway. Who cares?
Fuck it. Isn't Rhode
Uh,
Island smaller?
what's up?
Isn't Rhode Island like way smaller?
I thought Rhode Island was smallest. Delaware is pretty small though too. I mean, I'll tell you who cares. Dark
Where
Brandon.
even is Rhode Island?
Dark Brandon will be very mad at you.
Well,
You
I'll
destroyed
slap him
Delaware.
right in the dick. I don't even give a shit.
'Cause he's from
I'll
Delaware.
punch him up so good.
That's where he
I'll
rode
beat
his
his
trains
little-
and ate his ice cream.
I'll beat his little ass. Okay, I guess Rhode Island is half the size of Delaware, which is
Will you
know.
have to fist fight Joe Biden because of this? Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think probably
Is
that.
this your pathway to the presidency?
Is it bare? I think it's bare shirt,
Ooh.
knuckle, but
Yeah,
boxing.
Thunderdome rules.
Does this
If
Clancy
I-
become president early?
If I punch, I mean, it wouldn't take much. I just give him a little, and he's done.
Yeah. You're famously wide, and he is famously
I'm
old.
strong enough to carry Alcatraz across
Yeah.
the country
Yeah.
on my back. So, okay, let's see. There is.
If only we knew a world leader that was insanely buff that could take down this threat.
Clancy?
Yeah,
Can Clancy the world leader or the threat?
the threat.
Okay.
I think I am the threat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's canon
Wait,
for
but
sure.
who's the world leader?
Who's the buff world leader?
I don't know. I
you thinking
mean,
Putin?
there
No, I
there were
thought-
a lot of jokes we could do with it.
I
I
thought you were
Putin might be
alluding to
funny.
a person that existed.
Every time I watch Shit Wheel of Chaos and I'm 20 minutes late, I miss so much in Clancy lore that the viewing experience is always a mystery to solve. Okay.
Then this is
But-
perfect.
Do you like that?
'Cause I am-
Potatoes.
Molasses.
I mean, well, and see, the thing is, I'm gonna continue to establish new lore, and that's gonna be a constant probably forever.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole thing that I do. But I think that it's good to do this every once in a
Yeah.
while, just to sort of like,
Clear it out.
Yeah, so
See
far
what
we
we've
have
got. Super
not
villain,
cleared out a piece of it.
able to carry islands on shoulders, destroyed all of Delaware in international waters,
But
murdered
should
some
we-
guys, stole all their money.
Should we return to your document?
yeah,
Yeah,
let's
that's
do it.
that. That's
No.
the
Yeah.
yeah. That's where we're at.
Yeah.
In the document.
Here's,
I was just summing
here's
it up.
Yeah.
here's the really important stuff.
Oh, okay.
Established on the
molasses,
15th of August.
That's capitalism values. I hate that.
Uh,
Stop that. Right?
Yeah.
That shit's
yeah,
being
show
on
up
time
when-
is capitalist
show up
propaganda.
whenever you feel like it and watch it back. Yeah.
Now get a pen.
The pen is fine though. The
Here's
pen
the
is
important
good.
stuff. The studio
It's my
is
resource.
a brick apartment building in international waters, suspended between 4 yachts and also Alcatraz. That's, I think that is
Sure.
the simplest, most basic
Sweet.
starting point of like, this is sort of what the board castle is now.
Yeah.
I thought it was on a
International
yacht.
waters
I thought it was
in
just perched
inter-
on a single yacht.
In
No,
the
it's
Atlantic,
suspended
right?
between 4 yachts.
I
'Cause
like
it's
that.
It's a regular sized apartment building. You're
Right.
not gonna put it on one
Like
yacht.
a super yacht, like a Bezos yacht, like where they have to
Well, it's
disassemble
a
bridges
big
to get
building.
through.
It's a big building, and I'm not gonna buy a super yacht. I'll just buy 4 regular sized
That's,
yachts.
I mean, you get the deal. You
Yeah.
buy them in bulk at Costco.
Exactly.
Kirkland brand yachts.
Kirkland signature yacht.
Yeah.
And guys to murder with a sword is not a reusable resource.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
Clancy's got this
That's
money
true.
now. You're starting from
No,
here.
I
you know?
think it's the right choice.
But that does bring me to
Mm-hmm.
the what we have sort of fleshed out as like the real source of my
Uh-huh.
money. So I killed the Patreon guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized I had control of my own future. My
Mm-hmm.
future was in my hands, and so I set up a Patreon tier that is 10K a month, and canonically, all
Oh,
17
yeah.
of my Patreons
Mm-hmm.
are patrons are under that tier.
Yeah.
Canonically,
Mm-hmm.
according to the canon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what how much in taxes though?
$170,000
Do you
a
pay
month.
taxes?
They live in
No,
international waters.
international waters.
But Patreon isn't in international waters.
Yeah, but what are they gonna do?
Take out the taxes before they put it in your bank account.
They don't do that.
They
I
don't do
think they
that.
You have to do your own taxes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because you're a
Freelance, baby.
technically
Clancy,
freelance. Yeah.
You found the loophole.
It's freelance. Yeah,
freelance,
baby.
offshore.
Freelance offshore. We got it.
Literally
Got
offshore.
Yeah, Clancy is literally offshore.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the suspension also raises a question I had, which is why doesn't the camera go like wobble back and forth at the sea as it bounces around?
It's big enough to
Because
be stable.
I froze the sea because I'm the Night King.
Right.
Oh.
I prefer
Okay,
that.
never mind.
That's
we
new
froze
canon.
the sea.
I prefer that.
Froze
I
the
understand the it's big enough to be stable
Excellent.
is also a valid answer.
Where is
but
the nearest international waters to Massachusetts? Would that be like near Greenland? Does that water belong to Greenland? Are we in the
I
Arctic
think, isn't
Ocean?
international waters just like 10 miles offshore?
it's something like that, yeah. There is the Greenland Sea. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
Where?
24 miles.
24 miles. Okay.
Because you're on the high seas.
Okay.
The
I mean,
high
honestly,
seas.
that does help a lot with climate change as well. So you are being more like a Marvel villain where all the villains are just like
Actually,
socialists.
like conservationists.
Yeah.
Like fucking Poison Ivy.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no! She doesn't want us to kill all the plants that are keeping us alive.
These
What
tech
a horrible
guys
person!
who want to save everyone.
Jazz has a great question. Are you going to claim international waters dash Alcatraz as its own micronation?
Yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that I think that is what I reestablished the Patreon is Clancytopia.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Clancytopia.
Right, but you
Okay.
does it have a flag? Does it have
Ooh,
a
that's a good
uniform? Do you
question.
have what's your title as the leader of
What do you mean, like
Clancytopia?
uniform? Like,
Like the armed forces of Clancytopia?
oh, there's no armed forces. There's no armed forces.
What
If
about
they want
unarmed
me, they can
forces?
come and get me.
Yeah, a national anthem. What's the national anthem of Clancytopia?
The national anthem of Clancytopia.
Thank you, bootlegged Bart.
Is
Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
it's the song by Panic at the Disco called "I Know There's a Reason These Tables Are Numbers. I just numbered. I just haven't figured it out yet."
I love it.
Or wait,
That's a
no,
great-
fuck that. Nails for breakfast, tax for snacks.
Yes. Why not 1,000,000,000%?
Why not both played at once?
Yes. Ooh, yes. Two Panic at the Disco songs layered over each other because one's not hectic enough. All right. So anyway, the whole story is $170,000 a month. I used that. I spun that into some patents. I sold the patent to Mark Cuban, or no, I mean I got Mark Cuban to invest in the patent, and then I used all the seed money to buy crypto, which I immediately sold all at once, which crashed the whole ecosystem.
That's
and now
right.
The Night King.
I forgot
of
that's
it,
why you're
yeah.
the Night King.
The Night King of the crypto
what-
winter.
What was the patent that you got
Well,
invested
I think
in?
what I said last night was that it is the defrigerator,
Yeah.
which is a cardboard box.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay. Again,
you
we're
put your
with
food
the
in it and it
environment,
keeps
with
room
global
temperature.
warming. Things are room temperature. We're not using extra energy for like
Exactly.
keeping
exactly.
things cold.
So you can have like I think yogurt. I think you're allowed to keep that room temperature. I think
No.
ketchup. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Yeah.
When you're culturing it, maybe?
I'm gonna
I think that you can
I'm gonna
store yogurt at
say-
room temperature.
say that we're not gonna try.
Well, no, I'm gonna Google it.
I'm gonna say you can try.
You can definitely keep
No.
eggs at room temperature.
USDairy.com says to keep yogurt refrigerated after you bring it home from the store and do not
Well-
leave yogurt at room temperature for longer than 2 hours.
USDairy.com has a big refrigerator in their pocket, or is in the pocket of big refrigerator.
As is eatingwell.com and aboutyogurt.com.
Okay, here's the thing.
Well, you don't need to. If you can freeze an entire ocean,
Yeah, I think you can leave it out.
you can leave out
Other people
yogurt.
can't, but you can.
What did I exchanged?
the
I
patent.
bought.
Money.
I used the patent to get Mark Cuban on board, and he gave me a bunch of fucking money as seed money for the defrigerator business, and then I just spent all that seed money on crypto. And then sold it back immediately.
That is
Anyway.
a great point from Jess, though.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not in
Okay.
anyone's pocket. We can have unpasteurized milk all we want. We can have
Sure.
hit that cow for me, will you?
Did you watch the extremely traumatizing movie about unpasteurized milk and Amish girls giving birth in fields?
No.
That's what I learned what pasteurization was. It was a movie on Lifetime about a girl who gave birth in the woods, and then the baby was dead, and the question was, did she kill that child? Did the mother kill
By
that
drinking
child?
unpasteurized milk?
Well, that's how the baby actually died.
Because
she had been drinking unpasteurized milk, so it killed her baby. But did she kill the baby? No, she actually passed out, and then the father of the baby came and killed the baby.
I also realized...
They revealed it in the end scene, and I was like, so this is why we keep our milk cold?
I realized something. We have to step back to multiverses. Because... Which Clancy is that?
I mean, that is...
Which Clancy's never getting sick of that foghorn? Did that Clancy give up streaming and become a
that's the
lighthouse
same
keeper?
That's the same as the cookie one.
Okay.
That's the same one as the cookie one.
I think that makes sense. It's the Planet Scum canon Clancy.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Scumiverse Clancy.
Okay.
Universe 4.
We should do a promo.
God damn it, I swear to God. I hate it. I mean, mentioned that I hate myself. Like, stop.
Sorry.
Anyway, let's see. Here is an entry. Danielle is dead.
Well,
yeah.
That kind of, like, I mean, I guess you could just...
real life canon.
You could just undo it, but I feel like you should at least keep that until the court case.
There is yeah,
I think just get rid of murder.
I mean, also we
Clancy isn't subject to any laws.
There seems to be a lot of ideas of rewriting history here. Suspicious.
Clancy's outside of U.S. laws.
I just want to say once and for all, I didn't do it. I didn't. Hey, I didn't do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what.
Yeah.
What famed vigilante Robert Pattinson
of my peers says about it.
I watched a lot of Lie to Me, so I was seeing a lot of nonverbal cues.
That's true.
Micro expression.
A lot of micro expressions. Remember Lie to Me?
I do.
I do remember Lie to Me.
Just remember it? That difficult man.
Is Robert Pattinson an expert in micro expressions?
Probably. We'll see. We'll see what Robert Pattinson has in mind.
We'll see what Rimblies he has in his Timblies.
Yeah. But actually, that does, in a way, bring me to something. The Assemblage of the Seven.
Ooh, what's that?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
That's been like the low-level canon thing building up in the background.
Wait.
Virginia Woolf.
Okay.
Nico from the Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
Okay.
E. Cummings. Andy Warhol.
Andy Warlock.
Maybe Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Mm-hmm.
Veronica Mars writer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
What's that?
Veronica Mars writer, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was on the right. He wrote some episodes of Veronica Mars, and I just think it's really funny that anyone was both in the NBA and wrote episodes of Veronica Mars.
This next one, I'm not totally sure, but I think it's William Andrew Clark.
No, it was William Jennings Bryan.
William Jennings Bryan. Okay.
What is his deal?
He's one of the seven.
But does he have any other deals?
He was a U.S. Secretary of State.
Oh, I see.
And tried to become president many times, or 3 times.
I see.
That's many.
His nickname was Boy Orator of the Plate.
And also Bowser. Bowser is the seventh.
The fundamentalist Pope.
Boy Orator.
The Great Commoner and the Silver Knight of the West.
Wow, he sounds like a bad person.
Yeah, he was Secretary of State under Woodrow Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah. William Jennings and Bowser is the 7th one.
Yeah, from the Mario series of video games.
And what's their deal?
They crawled out of the ocean in last November.
Okay.
And they're supposed to battle some great evil.
Oh, okay.
And the question that I have is that maybe Gooby Gary?
Mm-hmm.
Is that maybe me?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that maybe Mr. Microsoft?
Oh.
Ooh.
Who was introduced last night as... What I'm envisioning is sort of like a cryptid a la the Slenderman.
Mm-hmm.
Does he just have like a? Is he like a Tumblr sexy man version of Microsoft, like the font? But not the font, the like, you know, the OS, like
Windows?
Yeah. Yeah, like is he the Tumblr sexy man anthropomorphication?
Is he David Karp, founder of Tumblr?
Yeah.
He's
Microsoft. You know, someone's done it.
Is he
someone's
sexy?
done a cute, sexy anime boy.
Is he sexy cryptid Clippy?
Of a Microsoft? Am I googling?
Yeah, he's like
yes.
He's like a sexy cryptid Windows XP. Let's say that.
He's not Microsoft Bob.
Who's Microsoft Bob?
It was one of their operating systems.
Oh, maybe. Well, I feel like Windows XP is the correct time.
You're right. But also, Microsoft Bob.
But I think
I think you're right.
I think that it's a fun idea to establish some like creepypasta type Mr. Microsoft stuff. And I'd like to figure that out maybe in the future. But oh, that's just Microsoft Bob.
Yeah,
Does he have a face?
It's a smiley face with glasses, and the computer, the OS looked like a house you were in.
Okay.
I hate that. Yeah. I don't like that at all.
No.
That seems very ill-conceived.
Yeah, it was a thing I think I used a couple times at a friend's house, but then assumed I had just made up until I saw screenshots.
All right. Cool. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. I found some Microsoft as a sexy anime boy. They're really boring.
Yep.
They're,
That's why you gotta make it creepypasta-y.
You know, they're dull. They're all in, like, school uniforms, which I guess when I, you know...
No, this has to be a business suit. But I think maybe it's a business suit with the color scheme of, like, that, like, Rolling Hills Windows XP standard thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is the head a paperclip?
I think that the head is... No one can quite describe what his face looks like.
Right. I like that.
Oh,
like, they look at him and they're like, that's a normal guy with a normal face, but when you turn around, you can't remember at all what his face looks like. And it's
like me, with every fucking face.
He doesn't have an actual face. It's just like... It's just kind of like static.
Yeah, when you look at him, you just hear that dum error noise from Windows.
Yeah. If you look too closely, you see that it's all like a whatever a tube of how old monitors used to work?
Oh, the cathode ray tube thing?
Yeah.
The CRTs? Yeah.
It's all like little like dots and specks and static and horrifying. And if you look too deeply into his eyes, he'll suck you. Who was Microsoft fucking on your screen just now?
No one. It was actually someone with the Death Star, like, as their, like, big ass, you know?
Hell yeah.
So that surprised me because I wasn't expecting Star Wars.
That ass is operational.
That's no moon. Anyway, I think that...
We gotta be able to get some kind of reading on that ass, up or down. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just asking if Clancy would kill the moon, but I guess it's not really, related to the canon.
I could kill the moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
In like a one-on-one fight?
Yeah. I'll slap the shit out of the moon.
Yeah, Clancy can move Alcatraz.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll fuck the moon up.
Okay.
That man in the moon has had it too good for too long.
It's always men everywhere taking everything, right? It's time for them to have their comeuppance. Once again, Clancy painted as a villain. Fighting the patriarchy.
See, and
fighting climate change.
That's the thing, is like a lot of the time people are like, oh, you're like some like evil supervillain sort of situation. But the reality is there's not more women on the show because I don't like kidnapping women. There's not like there's And also, sometimes you send messages to 6 or 7 women who you're big fans of and would love to have them on the show more often, and they're like, no, we're busy. And then turns out white men have nothing going on and they're never busy. So, like, maybe think about that for a second. Next time you're angry about a lineup on a show and you say, oh, it's too many white men. Yeah, they don't have anything going on. They have
Look
nothing
at the caliber
in their
of
lives.
your show first. Like, because there's the horseshoe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why the secret is have someone host the show who's not a man.
Depends on how fucking shitty your event is, though. You might not even be able to be
I mean, that's
not
fair.
a white man.
That's fair.
put
That's
on
fair.
this
That's
show.
fair. That's fair.
I tried once and it was really weird. I would not
What?
recommend. Like, it's like, as were I to put on one of these shows, I would immediately become a cis white dude.
Oh,
Which-
it's like a comedy
Yeah.
is
Which I am not.
is a
So
old
it would
one.
be like a form of like transition, I suppose. But what you become at the end is worse than anything.
Hell yeah.
It's a
you
Lovecraftian
could
entity, but it's the one
otherwise.
Lovecraft actually likes.
Yes! The only one he wasn't afraid of was actually the most evil all
The
along.
one that turned everyone into white men in suits.
Hell yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I think
So the
that
canon.
I think that I think this was very productive.
Is this all the canon?
Is there not more canon?
I mean,
You acted like there was all this fucking canon you couldn't sift through.
we've been talking for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, what I hear is Clancy killed some guys he thought were the Patreon founders with big sword, took all their money, stole Alcatraz
I mean,
on their back, destroyed Delaware, put down Alcatraz in international waters, used that money not only to set up their headquarters between 4 yachts, but also to invest in crypto, and then sell crypto
what?
and crash crypto.
Yeah.
Night King.
May have to fist fight in bare knuckle boxing
The moon?
Joe Biden.
And the moon.
Will have to try and kill the moon in a one-on-one fight. Did not
We
specify.
didn't establish why.
Bare knuckle. I was just asking if you would.
Yeah,
Like,
I'll do it.
May.
Well, see, the why is because you asked if I would, and I said yes.
True. There we go.
Oh, and then did kill Danielle Porter.
I
Is making $10,000 off of each of his 17 Patreon who are at the new level every month. So that's the sustainable income in
All
addition
17
to
of them.
the investments.
Right.
Also froze the ocean
Around the yacht.
around
Froze-
said
froze
yacht.
some of the
Yachts. The yachts.
And that's it.
Well, what is the shit wheel?
Yeah,
lore?
that's all.
But what's the shit wheel lore? What is the shit wheel?
What is the shit wheel?
Did you find it in space?
Yeah, is it your
an
creation?
infinite shit wheel of chaos. It's
Did you
I don't
create
think-
it? Did you encounter it?
I think it's just it always has existed
Okay.
and it always will. It's a
If you're
constant.
from like a different
Yeah.
time and like language, like
I think
when
that's-
you look at the wheel, it'll be in your language that you can understand, and it'll be like games that you understand as well.
It just
Yeah.
seems like a powerful nexus for creepypasta.
I think that yes. I think
Like a
that the
hellmouth?
infinite shit wheel
Yeah.
of chaos is more
But an
like a
internet hellmouth?
personification of like
Right.
the underlying thing that like makes the world move in general,
Gravity?
makes the universe
Money.
in general.
Mm.
Just sort of like the
Mhm.
flow of time and space is an infinite shit wheel of chaos. It starts but it just starts where it
Mhm.
ends, and it's like a Ouroboros, and it just keeps going. And so I just noticed that and turn it into a fun, silly game instead.
Okay. Are you the Clancy who performed on our open mic? Or is that also Scum Clancy?
I think that is probably stand-up comedian Clancy.
Right.
Who is another thing entirely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and how does World's Hottest Goss, the new version, like...
That's stand-up Clancy. And I think that...
Was it always?
World's Hottest... Anything with World's Hottest Goss, I think, has always been stand-up Clancy.
Okay.
Because that was a very grounded character that felt like it existed in the real world.
Okay, but that's interesting, because does that then mean that the Clancy on Trial never hosted a show with James?
Well,
who's on trial?
Yeah, which Clancy's on trial?
It's interesting because it was right around the same time that Gooby Gary revealed that there had been a rift and time and space was smashed, that James departed.
It's true.
So I think it's entirely possible that James leaving me to my own devices may have
caused you to go mad and
snapped the universe in half.
It caused the crisis on Infinite Clancy's.
It's entirely possible that me being left to my own devices snapped the universe wide open and caused an interdimensional war.
That can happen.
That we are still sort of dealing with the consequences of.
Yeah.
I had a friend in high school that happened with.
We do that sometimes.
Yeah. It was just like, it just happens sometimes. It's like a part of normal development,
It is. It is. Sometimes you actually accidentally snap the universe in half and create an interdimensional war.
And
with
sometimes
the
you do it
power
on
of
purpose.
your friendships and the trouble they're within.
And so I think theoretically it is, because...
Were you quantumly entangled?
I think theoretically, yes, it is.
You should.
I see that hosted, but
have you tried reversing the polarity and then reversing it back?
There's the version of Clancy that is still just a stand-up comedian. Yeah. And then there's the version that is now basically Deadpool but funny.
Right, because there's the Clancy's. There's that Clancy, and then as if shown through a prism, they've split off into multiple timelines.
Yes, exactly.
So there's Clancy Prime. And
yes.
Then...
And the question is me Clancy Prime? Or...
It's so interesting how you're like, we're finding all these new Clancys, like right when one of them has to be on trial for like
that
murder.
is really interesting.
It's just like an interesting thing. Happening.
It is really interesting that now there is easily an option to take a Clancy that has already voluntarily imprisoned themselves and make them the one at fault for
I'm
that being
a little
the
entrapped.
extremely the extremely painful Clancy.
I'm feeling a little bit like I was given a government contract and I like worked really hard on it, and then they're like, great, we're going to use this to blow up planets. And I'm like,
well, look, I think you have helped me sort out a lot and have put me in a position that I can now definitely go into the trial, which I believe is a week from today. And really feel really comfortable walking in.
Good.
Good to know.
And I mean, the thing is, I'm in international waters anyway, so like they can't. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?
I mean, they'd have to like reach in from like somewhere from outside time and space.
Yeah, but who? Who would do that?
Who?
Who would? Who could?
Who would? Who could? Truly.
So basically, okay. So I think the important things that have been established here are that there is at least 4 or 5 Clancys running around somewhere.
Okay.
Yes.
One.
Can we use the arguments about the Trinity? for this one. They are three,
like,
but they are one.
Right. Like
They
the
are
Holy
five,
Trinity
but
is
they
what you
are,
mean.
Yeah.
They are 5, but they are 1?
Yeah.
The Holy...
So the crimes of one is the crimes of all, because all are one?
Quinstantinity.
Quimbly
That does
Timbly.
sound like how Robert Pattinson would say it, yeah.
Is that... I mean, look, if that's how the lawyers want to play it, that's how they can play it. But okay, so there's 4 or 5 of me running around.
Right.
They are 5, but they are 1.
The potential big bad in this multiverse is Gooby Gary and or Mr. Microsoft, and or maybe it's me. It could be me. It could be me all along.
Clancy!
Oh God.
You're stuck with me, Clancy.
This guy is fucking... I love him so much. He's such a cutie. Anyway, let's see. Here's to answer this question. I am accused of murdering Danielle Porter. That's the main thing. Yeah. But also, I mean, I've done other things too that I could easily be on trial for.
I mean, there's 4 or 5.
Well, you mean the Clancys? There's 4 or 5 Clancys.
Yeah, that's like 4 or 5 like Clancys that could be out there committing crimes for you to be on trial.
At least
exactly.
4 or 5.
Like this version of me stole Alcatraz for sure.
Yeah,
but
and you
on the
will
other
have
hand,
to fist fight Joe Biden.
Did the scum version try to steal the cookie?
Yeah, exactly. The scum version broke into Chris Gethard's home to try and steal a stale cookie. And the Nightmare Gods version was a Ruby Ridge type situation. They're dead.
Yep. Yeah, that sounds right.
What's Ruby Ridge?
Oh boy.
Like a Branch Davidian sort of
a cult.
There's
a really good cult podcast about it.
With the FBI and all that, and that.
Oh, the Waco people.
No, those are the Branch Davidians.
That's another one.
Wait, what are we talking?
Oh yeah,
Ruby Ridge. Ruby Ridge was the same year as Waco.
Pre-Waco.
Yeah.
It was the cabin one, yeah.
And so Nightmare Gods one is dead.
In a Ruby Ridge situation.
I'm gonna say canonically, in a Ruby Ridge situation, Nightmare Gods Clancy is dead. So there's not a Nightmare Gods Clancy running around anymore.
Well,
I stole out.
What if they're a ghost?
That's entirely possible. You're right. What
if they're in heaven
religiously? Like they're the only ones in heaven.
Yeah, they went to heaven.
Oh yeah, they went to Kevin.
Like they have God powers.
Oh, Kevin!
God gave those
to him.
Kevin. I forgot about Kevin.
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And extremely painful for you, I think, is maybe the only one who's a hero. Because Stand Up Me committed the crime of being a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
Which is the worst of them all.
But extremely painful for you, Clancy, modeled themselves on Bane.
That's true.
That's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. They did crash a plane with no survivors.
Yeah.
You know what? That's true. But they also have...
They did try and get in the head of a cop.
They have voluntarily imprisoned themselves in the pit for at least a while.
Maybe they're after redemption.
Something like that. Look, the answer to this is I have truly no idea because Bobby Pattinson does not let me in on most of his plans. So anything could happen.
Any Rimbly could Timbly.
Any Rimbly could Timbly. All right. That's an hour. That's an hour of talking, and I think that an hour is enough talking.
Yo. That's something that a lot of people should have thought about.
I think an hour is the right amount of talking.
Yeah, no, it's a good amount.
It's a solid
amount of talking.
You know, it's like...
Anybody who pushes it too much further past an hour is really, really trying the patience of the American people. And I may be a murderer and an island thief, but
who has to fist
I'm
fight
not
Joe
one for
Biden?
trying patience.
Oh, okay.
All
That's
right.
good to know.
I'm gonna end the broadcast. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and getting involved. If somebody says, "Hey, what do you do with your Monday nights?" and you say it's hard to explain, now it isn't. Send them this.
Yes, it's this video.
It's this video. Send them this, and they'll be like, "Oh, I get it. I'm definitely not gonna join in on that." Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.